as we find, we, the teachers of DAV Public School, CCL Giridih, are trying our very best to give you all few materials so that you can learn it at home. First, today, myself, Kakoli Saha, biology teacher of the same school, is going to deal with life processes, class 10, biology. Let us start with life processes. Aid with me because we were not prepared for such a situation. But I do have with me the pen and the paper, and I'll try my best to teach you all with the help of these two weapons. Great weapons used in the field of education, that is the pen and the paper. With life processes. Life processes. So, this chapter will be dealing with very interesting processes which are related with our own body system, human body, as well as how the life processes goes on in lower animals. First of all, what are life processes? Life processes includes various processes which are essential for continuation of life. To survive, children, we need to go through various processes like nutrition. First, I'm going to take up nutrition. The other important life process is respiration. Then we have circulation or the transportation, whatever you call it, transportation. Then we have excretion. Another life process, very important life process, that is reproduction. So, all these life processes are very much essential for continuation of life. If any of these processes goes wrong, then our life will be in danger and there will be a question mark on the continuity of life. So, first of all, to go before into the life processes, we should know the characteristics of living organisms. Characteristics of living organism. Living organism. There are several characteristics, but for the student of class 10, I would like to say the most important characteristic of living organism is we have seen them moving. They can move. They can move. Have you seen the lion, the tiger in the zoos moving? We, of course, the human beings, the animals in and around us, they keep on moving all the while. But the question may come to your mind that plants, they are also living, but they don't show any movement. Yes, of course, they definitely show movement. Have you seen the touch me not plant? Touch me not plant. It is also known as, botanical name is Mimosa pudica. Children, while playing, you all must have seen a plant. If you touch the leaves of the plant, then what you will see? If you touch the leaves of the plant, simply go and touch the leaves of the plant. You will see the leaves drooping down. Again, when you remove your hand, you will see that the leaves have come back to the original position. So, if definitely they are showing movement, they are remaining in their original place. But the parts, you can see the movement. Sunflower, you must have observed the sunflower. You must have seen the flower just facing the sunlight. What it is? It's the movement of that particular part, that is the flower, towards the sunlight. That means plants are also showing movement. The shoot is growing upward, that is movement. The root is growing downward, that is movement. So plants also, they do show movement. Even while we are sleeping, it seems to others that there is no movement. Even we are asleep, fast asleep without any movement. But if you go near that person who is asleep, you can see several parts. You can see the movement of this chest part. The breathing is going on. Several other movements you all will be able to see. So one of the most important characteristic of living organism is that they can move. Now, there are other characteristics also which define the characteristics of living organism. The second most important characteristic, first is movement. I have already told you all. The second is they need food to survive. Every day you know that we need food. The animals running after food. The plants are also preparing their own food that we will deal with later. Then the next method is they grow. This living organism, they grow. If you see a table year after year, it will remain as it is. But a plant or an animal, you will see some changes. It definitely grows. Then the other thing which you are going to see is that they reproduce. At a certain part of their life, you will see them producing offspring. So, movement, need food, growth, reproduction, repair, maintenance, and all these things are the characteristics of living organism. So, these life processes which I have mentioned earlier along with the others, they are required for the maintenance of life, and without them our life cannot continue to exist. That is why they are known as life processes. Now today we are going to start with the first life process, that is nutrition. What is nutrition? Again and again we have been teaching you all from class 3 itself. Nutrition is nothing but the process of taking in food. The process of taking in food to get energy, and for various other activities like growth, repair, respiration, excretion, other things, excretion, etc. All these processes can take place only when we take the food and we get some energy. Without energy, we cannot do anything. Maybe the metabolic activities. Now let me tell me what is metabolism. The sum total of all the activities going on inside the body. Inside our body, every single minute, so many activities, biochemical activities are going on. Biochemical activities are going on. It is not that we are sleeping, we are not doing anything. Even when we are sleeping, you see children, sometimes we dream. How can we dream? Only if the brain is doing some work. So, the metabolism is the sum total of all the biochemical activities taking place inside the body, and they need, for all these biochemical activities, energy is required. And from where are we going to get the energy? We are going to get the energy from the process of nutrition. Towards types of nutrition. But before that, I would like to tell you all about something about nutrients. In the process of nutrition, of course, we take the food, but that food consists of nutrients. And In your lower classes, you all have studied the different nutrients which are included in the food are carbohydrate, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and you all have studied what is the function of carbohydrate, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins. Carbohydrates, fats, you all know they are associated with giving energy. And already there is no need of repeating again and again. And these are also essential nutrients contributing in the growth and development and functioning of the body in some way or the other. The deficiency of each of them can give rise to disease. That each and everything you have studied in your previous class. Now let us come to the topic of types of nutrition. There are two types of nutrition broadly speaking. Now see carefully. Autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. What it is? Auto means self. What does mean self? Tropic is nutrition. Means this autotrophic nutrition means they are able to prepare their own food. They prepare their own food. Now hetero means they are dependent upon others. They cannot prepare their own food. They are dependent upon others for food. So very well you know the examples. Plants can prepare their own food. That is why they are said to have autotrophic mode of nutrition and they are known as autotrophs. Even the blue-green algae, take the example of blue-green algae. They can also perform the process of preparing their own food. Heterotrophic nutrition means we can include all the animals, even we can include ourselves, that is the human beings. Now children, some of you must be thinking, Arey, Mama is preparing the food herself, then why are we including the human beings and saying that we are dependent upon others for food? Mama is preparing her own food. No. Why Mama is able to prepare the food, children? Because she is getting the various components for preparing the food either from the plants or the animals. So she is dependent either upon the plants or the animals for the essential ingredients required for the preparation of food. Now let us go to autotrophic nutrition. In my next session, I'll deal about this process of autotrophic nutrition in detail, but today I need to say something. What is autotrophic nutrition and how does the plant perform this process of autotrophic nutrition? Plants, you have seen the leaves are green in color. Now, these leaves, they receive why the leaves are green in color? Because they have a cell organelle known as chloroplast, and this cell organelle chloroplast contain a pigment known as chlorophyll. That is why the leaves are green in color. These leaves are receiving the sunlight from the sun. And what else? The plant is able to take the water from the soil with the help of roots. So, how this process, and as well as for the process of autotrophic nutrition, plant needs carbon dioxide, plant needs water, and it has to be in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So, the green plants, what do? They trap this sunlight, the solar energy, and later it is converted into chemical energy. That I'll tell you all afterwards. But it is to be known to you all that how this carbon dioxide is taken in by the leaves. leaves have certain structures. Those structures are known as stomata. What they are known as? Stomata. These stomata are responsible. They are tiny pores present on the surface of leaf. It is not that they are small holes present in the leaves which can be seen with the naked eye. Children, they are microscopic structure. Please see the diagram given in your NCERT book, and what you will see, how does the stomata look like? They look like this. It consists, a particular stomata consists of two guard cells. What do they consist of? This stomata consists of two guard cells. You see the shape of a bean shaped structure. And these guard cells, they have the nucleus. They have the nucleus as well as the chloroplast in them. And they are surrounded by certain accessory cell or subsidiary cells. Those cells are known as what? They are known as epidermal cell. What they are known as? Epidermal cell. This is representing the guard cell. And in between the two guard cell, you see that there is an opening, and this opening is known as stomatal opening or stoma. Stomatal opening or stoma. Now, this opening is regulated by certain factors. Here in this class, I would not mention about all the factors responsible for the opening, but simply I would say that this wall of the guard cell is non-elastic. It is rather thick, and the distant part away from this part is elastic or thin. So whenever water gets inside the guard cells, whenever water is getting inside the guard cell, what you will see that this guard cell will bulge out. When these guard cells, what happens? They bulge. You see water getting in, and rather the bulging is in this direction. Sorry children, the bulging is in this direction. Means movement is in this direction, not outside direction. Again, the movement of water in, and you will see the guard cell moving out. So what will happen? Suppose these are two guard cells. This is one guard cell. This is the other guard cell. When water is getting inside the outer layer, what is happening? Bulging out, and it results in the opening of the stomata. The stomata opens, and when the stomata opens, the plant can take in. There can be gaseous exchange. There can be the process of transpiration. But when water goes out of the guard cell, you see these two guard cells coming close together because water has gone out. This condition is the flagellate condition, and the swollen condition was known as turgid condition. This you will see just they will stick to each other, closing the stomatal opening. Then we say that the stomata is closed. So in this way, exchange of gases takes place. Plant will be able to take carbon dioxide, water through the roots. Sunlight is trapped by the chlorophyll present in the leaves, and a chemical process would go on by means of a reaction which is represented in a balanced form in your NCERT book, and this will result in the formation of glucose, and oxygen will be liberated out. Mind it, the reaction is not balanced right now, and it has to be in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. But once again, I want to remind you all children, photosynthesis is not that easy. That carbon dioxide taken in, water taken by the root, absorbed by the root, and all of a sudden the glucose is formed. It is a multi-step process, and during this process, What happens? Ultimately, the formation of the product is glucose and oxygen is being given out. Is left, children, heterotrophic mode of nutrition that is dependent upon others. In your lower classes, you all have studied about herbivores, carnivores, omnivores. Those were the basic things. Herbivores, what is herbivores? Feeding on grass. All of you will give me the example. You will say the grass eating, the cow or the goat, grazing animals, they are the herbivores. Now what are carnivores? They are the flesh-eating animals, the lion, tiger. Omnivore, the best example, we eat the plant as well as the animal products. The crow is also an example of omnivore. Now in heterotrophic mode of nutrition, in class 10 syllabus, you have 3 mode of nutrition. The first is saprotrophic mode of nutrition. What is saprotrophic mode of nutrition? Saprotrophic mode of nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which the organism depend for food upon dead and decaying matter. The microorganism, the examples are the microorganism. Then these organisms which show saprotrophic mode of nutrition, they are known as saprophytes. Next is parasitic mode of nutrition. Parasitic mode of nutrition are shown by those organisms which are totally dependent for food and shelter upon other organisms. Example, plant is cuscuta, dodder. Animal example is the head lice or the bedbug. And the next is the holozoic mode of nutrition. We the human beings, the best example. We engulf the food and then the process of the whole food, and then ultimately the food is digested inside the body by the enzymes and later it is being absorbed. So in my next lecture or in my next video, we will start with holozoic mode of nutrition. Stay safe, children. Stay healthy. Stay indoors. Concentrate in your studies. God bless you. Till then, bye.